am not kidding you. Since yesterday, I cannot stop thinking about her look. I have found myself poring over all of the photos and videos and am just in total awe. So this is Anak Yai. She's a supermodel and one of the most jaw-droppingly stunning human beings on this planet. Truly is a work of art.
Or talk. It might be awkward. They'll be like, Anak. I'll be like, Anak, so what are you wearing tonight? How do you feel? Hi, Vanity Fair. It's Anak Yai, and I'm getting ready for the Met. Come on in. So this year, I'm having a prosthetic wig put on by the most fabulous team right here.
This is a encapsulated silicone prosthetic.
Like this kind of stuff just blows me away. The artistry, the craft, the talent. It's just amazing.
So it's gonna be fully glued to her.
It's gonna look dirty, nasty, stink. Word. And then round 2, come look at the view. It's hectic right now. Hot and messy. The theme for this room right now, there's like 100 people in this room. Turn the camera. Everybody say hi. Hi. How many Met Galas have I done? 7. Which Met Gala is this? 7? Lucky number 7. I think this is the first time where no, I'm always nervous, but like this.
Like hate that this is in the same room as the Bezoses. Okay. How do you have artistry like this in the same room as the Bezoses?
Time, I'm like extremely nervous. I'm doing something so different with my hair and makeup that like I haven't done before. And ooh, that's fab. Yeah.
Easy.
Because I've done
Thank
so
the
many
28
Mets,
months.
when I go like some designers, I don't want to let my fans down and I don't want the designer down. It's Pier Paolo's first Met with Balenciaga. It's my first Met with him. And it's I think this is like the first Met where like I've done like something crazy.
Wish they advertised the fashion exhibit portion of the event. Yes. And as I was explaining yesterday, one reason that people didn't understand what Benito was going for in his look, they're like, why did he dress up as an old man? Because one of the the exhibition featured different types of it was bodies, and one was aging body, and that was what Bad Bunny decided to use as his inspiration, and tying in the aging body to beauty, right? And I think there's such a rejection of aging, especially in this industry of celebrities and the world's most beautiful. So I appreciated that that's what he brought to the event last night, but unfortunately it was lost because the Met does not explain or really do any type of advertising on the actual exhibitions.
That I don't think anyone will do. No one's gonna show up with another prosthetic wig, right? I'm just hoping that people are going to react to it in a way where like they think it's cool. But I think I look cool. I'm gonna damn. Yeah. Nothing makes sense about the Met Gala. The thing about the Met Gala is just like you're never gonna get comfortable. It's always nerve-wracking. Such a huge, iconic thing. Yeah, every year I'm scared. Hopefully I don't fall downstairs. Whew. So when I had this idea, I was trying to explain it to everyone. I was like, I want to
let me just read a little bit from the New York Times to show you how much how much was missed. And unfortunately, this happens now every year where there's just such a lack of education and advertising on the exhibitions. So last year was Black Dandy, right? The history of Black men's style and how it has shaped culture, and how dandyism was a form of personal expression and also political protest. So we talked all about dandyism last year, and then this year This week, costume art opens in the Condé Nast galleries. It's a clear statement about the enduring relationship between art and fashion. The show is composed of mirrored pairs, generally one piece of art from Impressionism or ancient Greece, or arms and armor to one garment, and proof positive that clothing, or the clothed body, is the single thread linking all 17 departments in the museum. Sprinkled among the usual sylph-like mannequins in the exhibition are 9 new forms of the sort that usually aren't seen in the fashion departments of any museum. All based on actual people, they include a variety of larger bodies, bodies in wheelchairs, pregnant bodies, trans bodies, and bodies that are missing limbs. And atop each body, rather than the usual abstract face, there's an oval of polished steel so that visitors' own faces will be reflected back at them, as if they are the person inside all these differently shaped bodies. Which I just think that this is really, this is gorgeous. Really interesting. It's a pretty obvious statement about self-reflection and seeing ourselves in other people's experiences, said Amy Mullins, a model and actress who lost her lower legs as a baby and who posed for one of the mannequins. The artist Michaela Stark, who's known for biting her own flesh so that it spills over, confronting those who see it with their own idea of what is considered beautiful, and who also posed for a Met mannequin, put it more bluntly, it institutionalizes the idea that bodies are different. Indeed, said Ariana Rose Phillip, a black trans model and another Met mannequin model, said, it's going to show people that the Costume Institute and the Met are making a commitment to inclusivity and diversity, even in times where sociopolitically it's being clamped down on. God protect this woman, because of course, libs of TikTok and the usual disgusting losers online chose her as a target, of course. And we're making all of the same jokes and just, or it's evil. They're so fucking evil. The mannequins were the brainchild of Andrew Bolton, the curator in charge of the Costume Institute, who has made it part of his mission to expand the holdings of the department to include significantly more designers of color and ones outside the classic European couture tradition, and to augment the forms on which the clothes are shown. His mannequin expansion began with the 2023 show Women Dressing Women, which included a representation of Philip, as well as one of Sinead Burke, an activist and the founder of Tilting the Lens consultancy, who was born with achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism. This is an incredible video that goes into the actual exhibit. Okay, let's watch that after we finish this.
Aesthetic hair looked like a statue.
Thank you.
Bronze, and they're just like, what the hell are you talking about? And when I was trying to explain to my team, I wanted like a statue with prosthetic hair and like looking like a deity, they're just like, okay, girl. I couldn't explain it that well, so I was just like, let me do the makeup test and I'll show you. So you guys probably saw a video of me coming out of a hotel with a towel on my head. That's because we did the makeup test and I was going to Pure Apollo's headquarters to show him how the hair and makeup looked with the outfit. And then once he saw it, he said, okay, it makes sense. Honestly, it's going faster than I thought.
You've been streaming every day. You're spoiling us. Take care of yourself and rest. Well, I am going to EDC next weekend, which I am so excited for. And it's kind of the one thing that I look forward to every year. So I will be taking a long weekend to dance and experience Plur with other human beings.
When I have like crazy makeup looks, I expect it to take like 12 hours. But this time I woke up at, I think I started getting ready at like 7 a.m. I got a facial, and then a massage, and then another facial, and then the lymphatic drainage. And then we started the prosthetics.
Normally something like this takes at least 2 weeks, but we did not have that amount of time.
I called them the week before.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice the snakes in the prosthetics. It's very Medusa.
Can you please make me a prosthetic wig? They said, oh God.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Cheeky,
So then they
thank you
flew
for
in
the
from LA,
7 months.
And they did, what's it called?
Wop Wop, thank you for
Life
11
cast.
months. A
They did
public
life
nuage,
cast.
thank
Oh
you
my
for
God,
4
you guys.
months. Psych
I
Peer,
thought
thank you
that I
for 4
had like
months.
a mental fortitude. After 30 minutes, I was just like, okay. And then after 45 minutes, I was just like, hey, somebody. And then after 50 minutes, I was just like, and I forgot how to breathe.
Caroline, you're my favorite British streamer. Keep up the good work. Thank you, darling.
Is that normal?
You get very disassociated.
I got very
in there,
claustrophobic, and I had a little crash out moment, but it still worked out. I wanted to like,
favorite
do a
British
nod to
white
Medusa,
woman
so the
streamer.
back of the hair is a snake knotted. Let me turn. Can you see it?
Wow.
Can you see it?
That is amazing.
Can y'all see it? Yeah.
Is this a knock guy for the Met Gala? Yep.
How long has it been right now?
It's
only been
A
like-
good 11, a cute 11 o'clock.
It's only been like, what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Very. Okay, 3 hours sounds crazy, but realistically, that's very fast.
The process of the application took about an hour today to get glued and blended down because we did a test yesterday. So it went pretty seamlessly today. Laurel and Chica are working in tandem with the same product and taking it up into the wig.
I love the Met so much because like I have an opportunity to like get the best creatives in the world, and then like we're just having fun. Like I love creative direction, and like the designers allow me to really collaborate. The collaboration is like what makes everything like so much better. Once you have a group of talented minds put together, like this, girl, work.
Craft. True craft.
She is wearing Balenciaga Couture by Pier Paolo Paciuli. Pier Paolo and Anak had this vision of her as the Black Madonna. We were all very inspired by Renaissance paintings, something that felt relevant to both Italian culture, Black culture, as well as Balenciaga, and it felt like a sort of natural marriage of those three things. We made this dress last night, Anak and I did.
Myself in his kitchen. I was in his kitchen last night sewing it together.
How long did the dress take to make? It took 15 people about a
Wow.
week to make, working around the clock. The train is about 5 or 6 meters, so much taller than me. And it's gonna make for a very dramatic entrance for a very dramatic night.
I want you to have space. Me, I'm like, yeah.
God, I'm in awe of this entire look, this true work of art. Wow.
Bye, Vanity Fair.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's watch this inside the 2026 Met exhibition, costume art, which, as I've already mentioned a few times, unfortunately gets lost in the conversation every year around the Met Gala because it's celebrities, right? It's famous people. It's who's who's wearing what. Everybody becomes Miranda Priestley for the evening, and it's very. What is that? What is that? But what is at the what's at the center here, and what this is supposed to be all about, is the costume exhibitions that are on display, that are there's a theme, and it will be available for the public to view. So if you live in New York or if you're taking a trip there, good to know that this is something that you can access.
Fashion is the first thing we see about each other, so it's incredibly powerful.
Fashion can tell a story. At its best, it expands what the body can be.
There are just so many ways in which the human body takes form. How then does that impact what we layer on top of it?
No longer can we debate the idea that fashion is art. Fashion has always been art.
The pressure.
We're in the costume center. For the moment, we're using it as a way to store our mannequins
They're talking
and
about
dress some
fashion
of
a
the
lot,
pieces
they
for
are.
the exhibition. But these are actually
Everybody's
our
talking about
traditional
her.
galleries.
But not anymore.
Not anymore, yeah. It's so exciting. We're now moving upstairs into the lights.
The Met collects many things: paintings, sculpture, textiles, arms and armor, but especially also fashion. And we want to make sure that it's understood that fashion is a fantastic form of art.
So, and after this, we're going to talk about the counter ball that was thrown. The workers. It was Amazon workers, but also a large collective of union workers who put on a ball without billionaires, and it was super cool. I actually got invited to it, but it was way too last minute, and it was I was flying back from St. Louis and essentially would have had to fly to New York because it took place on Monday, but we'll look at that afterwards. But to be clear, that the protests around the Met Gala and not just the protests, but also people who have been expressing their just how distasteful it is and the very ostentatious display of wealth, they are not protesting this. And they are not protesting these, these craftspeople and artists and these institutions. The problem is billionaires, as it always is. The problem is billionaires. The problem is how funding of the arts has always structurally worked. And unfortunately, there is an over-reliance on private, high net worth donors, very, very wealthy people, billionaires. And the way that the tax incentives encourage supporting the arts as a way to avoid paying taxes. Also, the way that it's reputational laundering. So having somebody like Jeff Bezos, whose very business model is exploitative to its core, being a part of such an important cultural night like this is a way for him to ingrain himself, to be a cultural tastemaker, and to launder his reputation, and also how his highly unethical business practices are at play. Yeah, it's the capitalist system.
To do that, we want to make sure that the galleries devoted to that would be centrally located.
The Great Hall is one of the most recognizable interiors in New York City. Our galleries come directly off of that space.
We sort of started by taking a deep dive into the museum building itself, looking at old drawings, understanding the way it came together. But it's actually not one building, it's 20-something buildings that have grown and shifted over time.
Hi, Justet. Thank you for the 9 months.
The title of the show is called Costume Art. It has two connotations. One, it references our history. So before...
I will say, I felt like there was a missed opportunity on the carpet to really show bigger bodies. And rather than cover them up with so much fabric and feathers and sequins, to have the body on display and in a way that is representative of the exhibition that specifically features bigger bodies. Like, I just felt that there were opportunities that could have been had on the carpet that really demonstrated these cool exhibitions, these the focus being on these different bodies, aging bodies, disabled bodies, bigger bodies. And that's, it's like it's like most people on the carpet though are supermodels, and they're not supermodels. They are very thin. The fashion is the fashion is for people who are like under a size 4.
We were founded,
except for Bad Bunny, who
in
got
1946 as a curatorial department at the Met. We were known as the Museum of Costume Art, and it was an independent entity, but also a statement about the status of fashion itself. I think that when you walk around the museum, you see these wonderful examples of the dress body, but it's just a representation of the dress body. I think where fashion
One
has
thing
the
they made
edge
sure of everyone
over
wearing
art
flip-flops.
is the fact that it's about our lived embodied experience. So I very much wanted the exhibition to focus on that distinction between the representation of the dress body and also fashion as this living art form in which it expresses very complex ideas about identity.
Did you see the Vanity article on this year's Met Gala being tacky?
I think it's been interesting working with different curators.
Yeah.
We've done shows in the past where we've collaborated with specific departments, but we've never done a show before where we're collaborating with every single department in the museum. And Navina was actually the first person I
Bunny
spoke
went to the beach. That makes you
Met
old.
is an amazing place that can tell global stories because it has the ingredients, it has everything at its fingertips. We have a wonderful painting from the 18th century from one of the courts of India, from Hyderabad, which shows a woman in a very transparent muslin. It's so light, it's so fine, that the body looks almost nude under it. In every case, Andrew has found a response in contemporary fashion.
Flip-flop
to these
representation was
pieces, and that's
disturbing.
what's making them come alive.
So I wanted to start off the exhibition with the art historical distinction between the naked and the nude. The naked is really about one's lived vulnerability, whereas the nude is a sort of mediated
There were a lot of
construction
nips.
that's often posed or aestheticized. In any time and place, the naked body is never naked. It's always dressed in the cultural ideals of a particular moment in time. And then you go into the main part of the exhibition, and it's separated into two main galleries. One is focusing on sort of diversity of bodily being. And we start off with the classical body in that section because I wanted to look at and start off with a body that has often been valorized. It's a body that has always been reified both in art and also within fashion. And then we progress to a section called the abstract body, which is in a way the opposite of the classical body, where we have many women's bodies that are contorted and distorted through undergarments like the corset, the crinoline, the pannier, and the bustle. Even though they seem radically opposite of the natural body, they're both about achieving an ideal of beauty. So opposite the abstract body, we focus on something we call the reclaimed body. And the reclaimed body mainly feature female designers who do the opposite, who use understructures, padding, bindings to challenge these normative conventions of beauty. So it's the opposite of what the abstract body is about. The reclaimed body is sort of introducing three other body types and reclaiming these bodies within both art and culture. The pregnant body, the corpulent body, and the disabled body. So that's the first half of the exhibition. And the second half, it's all about universality and commonalities, everything we all share. So skin, the anatomy, blood, but also our experiences of life, like aging and death or mortality. So we have bodily diversity in one gallery and body universality in the other. Then we end with something I'm calling the epidermal body, which in a way is the largest and most salient organ. We all have skin, but all of our skin tones and textures are very different. So it brings them together and in a way ends with a celebration of plurality and the pluralistic body. I think in the past, in my previous exhibitions, whenever we talk about diversity, I've always integrated it within our exhibitions. But I do think particularly now, I don't think we're at a place where we normalize diversity. It has become otherized, and you see it reflected in fashion.
What's special about costume art is that the question it asks is fashion already art? Or does it become art through embodiment? I have dwarfism. I have a physical, apparent disability. Fashion has always been incredibly important to me because it's a vocabulary. It's an armor. And that's still, I think, how many people use clothes, whether or not they make that conscious decision. So to be able to put that in place in this exhibition, with the explicit inclusion of different kinds of bodies, putting them on.
Yeah, and fashion has always been rich in cultural diversity. And yet it's the industry that has struggled to be inclusive with body size, with age, with skin color, race. And there's a difference between, obviously, the industry of fashion versus the history of fashion. And fashion has always been a form of identity, of expression, of diverse cultures, and it evolves over time, and it can tell us a lot about a time period. And I love how the gala had nothing to do with this. Well, they give them a simple theme. They're like, fashion is art. There you go. And everyone's like, okay, I guess I'll look like a painting. This is always the part of the Met Gala that I like people to know about, because this is this is the history. This is the deeper stuff.
On pedestals. What it will mean very physically when people come into this exhibition is that for the first time, they will look at bodies that maybe they have overlooked with a sense of awe and wonder because they are looking up. I spend my life looking up. So I'm really intrigued and curious about what that change will mean for others within that space.
I think for me, like, the body obviously means something very specifically to me as a trans woman. I think that it has always kind of been a point of conversation for others, but I think to reclaim that and really find what makes me feel beautiful as an individual and makes me feel supported and loved and able as an individual is quite.
And the other thing too is because what's been in the mainstream has always been very narrow. People who fall outside of that have had to be extra creative in producing fashion for themselves. So somebody with a form of dwarfism, like the woman who was just on the video has, she does not have a lot of access to she does not have a lot of access to purchasing fashion for, and clothing for somebody like her. So there's a lot of people who it's like they learn to sew, they learn to really put pieces together because they have to, because there is not that being done for them. And because there's not, typically hasn't been mainstream representation. And so they create that for themselves.
Quite special. For me, it means express things and show the strength that I have in my body, show the muscles that I have, show the ass that I'm hopefully gonna have on the gala day, but like all of these different things.
I can't tell you how much it means to me to be a part of this. Like, I feel like disability and disabled people in the world overall is the most underrepresented, underserved population. As we can see, I have quadriplegic cerebral palsy. I am visibly disabled and I use a wheelchair. And so to be recognized in the arts in this kind of way and fashion in this way is so deeply touching and meaningful.
As a performer and as an artist, my body is my instrument. And I often say that it's my first costume. Like the skin I'm in and the body that I have as a dancer, it's what we're working with.
Two of the things I love most in the world, costume and art. The way our body can be changed and subverted, the way our form can alter and inform our mental state is something so divine to me.
The show is really focusing on the body and really focusing on the idea of one's lived embodied experience. We felt it was very important to actually include mannequins based on real men and women, particularly in the corpulent body and the disabled body sections.
Andrew had written me to ask if I would be a mannequin in this show, and the outfit that was made for me was already going to be in the show. It was important to me that it actually be on my body, specifically my body now. You go into this room that has about 100 SLR cameras positioned.
And even just thinking about getting my body made into a mannequin was an incredibly vulnerable process.
I was in the middle of this thing. I was sitting right here, and then around me were thousands of cameras just scanning me and taking pictures of me to make the model. And it was really awesome. I felt like I was in a 90s futuristic anime.
They sent them off to Italy.
I think the easiest way to demonstrate how fashion is a form of expression, and thus is ours, to look at uniforms, police uniforms, prison uniforms, school uniforms, military. They remove all self-expression. They demonstrate the absence of art, but they also do communicate their own message at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I think namely Nazi uniforms, they were designed to look very authoritative, to be a tool for the state to use as propaganda. The way that the uniform was designed to project power and to project discipline and instill fear. So they were very well tailored. They were certainly not cheap. There was a lot of thought that was put into the design of the Nazi uniform. And also, though, the fact that they all wear the same uniform to not be individuals, but to serve as kind of an entire. They're the state, right? They are not individual human beings. It's wild how those designers just became normalized the minute the war ended.
Where they would be converted into a 3D scan and then carved.
I always find within exhibitions,
Hugo Boss and Chanel.
one of the challenges is how do we sort of bridge the gap between the art you're looking at, the artworks you're looking at, and the visitors. So I'd always sort of thought about the idea of using a mirrored face as a way of diminishing that gap between the visitor and the artwork. I came across the work of Sama Hajaji, an extraordinary artist who had used polished steel faces. And what was so interesting about them is because they're made out of polished steel.
Angry witch
rather
turtle,
than
think
mirror,
that's your one.
there's a
Hydrostat,
depth
think
to
the
them. It's like your
9.
reflection in a wishing well or a pool. It's not a sort of mirror idea. It's slightly distorted. And I think that how we all see
Ugopnik has a great video on the Nazi uniforms. Yeah, there's been a lot of historical analysis, not just in the world of fashion, but because of I think how important the Nazi uniform was to the state's propaganda and the message that they were designed to send. And Adolf Hitler and other party leaders were very meticulous in how in how the aesthetic of Nazism was. And so that's why it's funny when you see when you compare to like modern day neo-Nazis, the Nick Fuenteses, ones where they are saying things that Nazis back in Nazi Germany said, but they don't have the uniformity, like no pun intended. And there is not the element of fashion as a tool of fascist propaganda. They fell off hard.
It's always slightly it's never true.
There was Hugo and the uniform in terms of looking authoritative, but there was also a big movement of bringing back traditional Aryan German clothing, often tied to traditional rural purity beliefs.
I love and also think the polished faces are really funny. Which, you know, I'm really glad Andrew's not sitting beside me because he would probably shake his shoulders at me. I'm really interested to see what people take from it.
It's very interesting. I love that idea that they chose to do that. I feel like it speaks to a lot. They're going to see themselves reflected in me, and I'm going to see myself reflected in them.
I think one of the ambitions for the show is we're not trying to sort of like reverse a hierarchy that's always existed within art museums where fashion's at the bottom rung of the ladder. It's more about focusing on equitability. So the idea of equitability between objects, whether it's art or fashion, but also an equitability of bodies, whether it's the classical body or the disabled body.
There's also, I think we talked about this when Valentino died, but when you looking at fashion history, the emergence of designers who came of age in the post-war period and how their designs were antithetical to the look of the war period. So Valentino really focused on elegance and high luxury, and he loved the color red. There was a very specific red that he loved. And that was in response to just how gray and drab Italy, where he was born and grew up, and other parts of Europe were in the post-war period.
There is a risk
Red
that
is
if you
used
don't
in art.
honor them in this way, people moving through the space go through it passively without noting that it is different. But also for those who live in those bodies, to see their bodies singled out with respect, grace,
Red is art.
admiration, and with psychological safety at the heart of it. What can that be a catalyst for?
Chronic,
When you
thank
have
you for
the
32
opportunity
months.
to work with a range of body types, you're going to get an incredible range of results. And I think that's something that's important about seeing more diversity in fashion. You know, and I think about it so connected to, you know, the way I talk about the importance of having more diversity in classical dance, that when you see different body types exploring the same type of movement, it's going to look completely different.
It's really amazing for someone like me to be there, but also like there's a lot of really amazing women and men and everything in between who are a part of it. And I think that that's really special and really unique. And I hope that I serve for all of us. The pressure.
The emphasis on the individual, what it is that makes us unique, what it is that makes us different. It is about seeing those moments, seeing those pockets of individuality and highlighting their beauty.
I think it's so important that there is representation and equity and diversity and inclusivity again when the world, as it's standing in our socio-political climate, is trying so hard to like destroy that. It's so important more than ever to uplift these communities of people who are going through so much and who are being persecuted so much.
Fashion listens to the market. So when the market's demanding to reflect what actually is, frankly, in our society, fashion will follow suit.
The show hopefully will resonate and hopefully will foster ideas of empathy and compassion towards each other.
It's going to open up a conversation about the beauty in us as human beings. There's so many stories to tell.
Hopefully it will mean that when we start to look at fashion as an art form, it isn't just about new, it isn't just about now, it is about the voyage that we all go on through our lives.
I'm personally so tired of being an other. I'm tired of being an other. Even though I am Black and disabled and trans, I'm still Ariana Rose Phillip. And I'm still a musician and an artist and a model. I'm just like you.
Yeah, unfortunately, the mold of billionaires infects, and comes to be the thing that all the focus is on, rather than on this. You the real billionaire? I don't know about that. Femininity was also prescribed by the Italian fascists in a very specific way. You are not supposed to be outside the very limited forms of the Valentina hyperfemininity and grandeur does reflect on the past. That's true. Okay. All right. So that is the 2026 Met exhibition, costume art. And when does the Met exhibition go live for the public? Let's see. Opens to the general public on May 10th. The Met Gala features a first look for attendees, and then the public exhibition runs from May 10th through January 10th. And it features nearly 400 items. So if you live in New York or you have a trip in the next 10 months, you can have the opportunity to see the Costume Institute's spring exhibition. And I think it looks really cool. Did you see this in relation to Bill Skarsgård at the Met? Let me see. What did he say? I'm not burning the duster, okay? So forget it. It probably won't even burn anyway. It's not supposed to. It's a flame retardant. That's the whole point. It's like a shield of armor. So stop asking me to burn the duster. Oh my God. Are people asking him to burn the duster? Or am I missing something here? Wait, this is an Always Sunny reference? Always Sunny. No, it's a joke from it's Charlie. Oh, right. Max stages his death And Frank yells to burn the duster. This is the famous monologue defending the duster. It is in episode 6 of season 4. It was in Mac's will to burn the duster when he died. The duster is a recurring item throughout the series.
Okay, well, I guess this is probably...
Also, when I showed Will Hudson Williams' makeup last night, the first thing he said was, "Oh, he's the Nightman cometh. He's a Nightman."
This is probably gonna be it, so we should get started. What to say about Mac? He certainly was angry.
Burn the duster!
Hey, I'm not burning the duster, okay? I'm not burning the duster, all right? That's crazy. That's insane. Why would I ever burn? I mean, I will continue to wear it in his honor, and I will burn some other things, you know, maybe like these stupid goddamn sleeveless T-shirts that he wants retired and hung up in the bar. I'll burn these, but I'm not burning the duster, okay? So forget it. It probably won't even burn anyway. It's not supposed to. It's flame retardant. That's like the whole point. It's like a shield of armor. So stop asking me to burn the duster. I'm not gonna burn it! So...
God, sometimes he sounds like his vocal tone sounds like Ludwig's.
So, end of story, you know? Let's just move on.
I don't think I realized that till
Okay.
now.
So, yeah, all right, well, thank you.
It's a mix between Ludwig and Austin. I don't know if I hear Austin so much. Maybe the mannerisms.